Hello, everybody, and welcome to another daily chat with Andy the Cabby. I hope everyone's all right this evening and you've all had a good day, beginning of the week and all that, isn't it? Yeah, my day's not been too bad. I've been off around the house, just catching up on some bits and pieces. And it's been an eventful day out there, hasn't it? In the political lands, I don't usually like to do live streams on this kind of subject because it doesn't really attract a lot of what's the word, the right kind of viewership. No one seems to take it in, but I think this is something we need to take in. I think this is something we need to pay attention to because it affects all of us, doesn't it, somehow? And I of course refer to government and who's in there. But before we do that, let's have a few hellos to some people. Anna Perkins, Alan Pape, Julie Keys, Julie Baldwin, Cosmic Water Toad. Good evening to all of you. What else we got here? Jerry Georgopoulos, good to see you. Tyrone Whitehead. Larry the cat always gets a mention, huh? Excellent. Boating live abroad, good to see you. Hope you're well. Let me know. Paul Hoskin, good to see you. Cabby for PM. I saw that earlier. Lou VEWF, state funeral for the state. Yes, I put breaking news on earlier, and somebody actually put breaking news, we're screwed, or something like that. Could be quite true, really. Julie Keys, hello. Handy Andy, hello. And I think that's everybody at the moment. Well, we've got some more here. Robert Allport, Jason Drury, good to see you. Hope you're well and your mum and dad are. Paul Kelly, Tony. Hello, John. Good to see you. Lorna McKenzie, Dave Bryan. Yeah, I go up the comments and try and say hello to everybody if I can, including Nigel the handyman. Hello, Nigel. And it all kind of jumps up again. I was very interested today. Obviously, we know what happened this morning, and I brought it to you live as it happened. The fact we've now got Liz Truss as Prime Minister of this country. Well, she will be tomorrow when the Queen gives her permission to be. And I was thinking today, what things has she got in front of her that she's got to deal with, and what will actually change? Now, I've seen a comment here, Bobcat 1967, nothing will change, just the faces. That's exactly how I feel about the whole thing. Exactly. It's unfortunate, but we're too used to the same old merry-go-round of bullshit. I said something to someone quite a while ago. Whenever anybody gets elected based on a promise of action or a series of commitments to do certain things, make a note of what they've done or what they said they're going to do. And then 12 months from that point in time, have a look and see what they've actually done, what they've actually achieved. And you will find that it doesn't work out very well. There's quite a disparity between what they've actually said they're going to do and what they've actually achieved, which tells me that they just say and do anything that they can to get into power. I mean, one of the things that made me laugh as well is when they said that the Conservative Party went to the country. Well, there's a lot more in the country than 140,000 people. It's just the Conservative membership. When do you think a general election will come? Let's have a show of hands. 1, if you think 2 years' time. 2, if you think a lot sooner. Let me know what you think. 1, 2 years' time. 2, a lot sooner. Hello, Sharon Shooter. Mike as well. Hello, Chrissy Williams. Good to see you. Some more people coming in the chat. Yeah, there's a little bit of a mixture here. 1s and 2s. Kind of mixed opinion on it. You know, some think 2 years, others think a lot sooner. I personally don't think she will last, to be honest with you. I think somebody will perform a hatchet job on her premiership, however long it will last, and she'll be gone as well. They love stabbing each other in the back in politics. It's part of the course. But there's one good thing came out of today, and before I do, I'm going to get a little something to celebrate. I went to Dave's last night. It was his birthday, and we had a few beers, and he got this Strongbow rosé stuff. Now, I don't have any sparkling wine or anything in the house, and this said rosé, and it's quicker, close enough. I've never ever tried any of this stuff before, so here you go. That actually isn't bad. Not bad at all. And the reason I'm drinking, I'm celebrating. Because Priti Patel has gone. Let's get the flags out. Oh, look behind me. Flags, yes. She's gone kaput. No more. Pretty useless, pretty awful, whatever people call her. She is history. Now we will have a little look-see, shall we, what was actually said. Now, whenever these people resign, they always blag about their record, blag about their track record, how well they've done. And she's done no less. Neats, it's rosé cider. I thought I'd give it a try. It's kind of a funny match between the two. Share screen. Yes, let's see what was said about Priti Patel earlier. Okay. I'll mute myself.
Patel herself has resigned as the Home Secretary. I guess the writing was on the wall for her. There's no one that believes that Priti Patel would stay in post under a Liz Truss premiership. We are now getting, as I say, the information through that Priti Patel confirming herself that she has resigned as Home Secretary. The speculation, the hot tips are that Suella Braverman will be appointed as the Home Secretary under a Liz Truss government. But of course, she is not yet Prime Minister. She's not taken on that post. So we are going to potentially, I don't know if this is with immediate effect. We're told it's with immediate effect. So for a day or so, it seems we don't have a Home Secretary in that post. I can't see for the life of me that they could appoint a Home Secretary for 1 day. So we don't have a Home Secretary in that post as far as we know. So then, of course, when Liz Truss becomes Prime Minister, I should say, tomorrow afternoon, she will begin urgently, as they always do, the process of appointing the Secretaries of State to the big offices of state, the Chancellor, the Foreign Secretary, and of course the Home Secretary. And it's not been confirmed. We don't know who the replacement will be, but the speculation is rife at the moment that it will be Suella Braverman. Whoever takes over that post has a very, very difficult job ahead of them. The migrant crisis, absolutely top of the list. But add to that what is happening as well in terms of the violent crime epidemic that is gripping many towns and cities right across the country. That is something else that the Home Secretary has got to grapple with, and the always ever-present threat from terrorism. That role is a very important role. That's why it's one of the big offices of state. Whoever takes on that role, Suella Braverman or whoever it might be, they have very, very difficult task ahead of them.
Thank you very, very much for joining
Suella Braverman. Has anybody ever heard of Suella Braverman? I haven't. Give me a 1 in the chat if you have ever heard of Suella Braverman. I haven't got a bloody clue who she is. But yeah, they pull these people out, don't they? Out of a hat. You've heard of Suella Braverman. I guess we will find out soon enough. Or I will, rather. It seems I'm at a disadvantage this time. Ha! Well, yes, let's have a look at Priti Patel's record, shall we? She thinks she's reformed the police force, or she's put in reforms. We've seen the complete disaster going on with the Met, particularly. There's, trouble rife all over the place. I did a show on this the other day. And of course, we move to one of the big topics, and that's migration, particularly the movement of thousands of migrants, illegal ones, over the channel on a daily basis. And I see Chrissy Williams in the chat actually mentioning it. And she's, Priti's taking credit for urgent and much needed reforms within that section, shipping them off to Rwanda and all this sort of thing, which actually never happened. And she's claiming credit for the fact that she's sorted that out and come far. Well, I want to play you a video that was sent to me earlier today, which you will find pretty interesting. And it basically proves what a load of old hogwash the woman comes out with. Share screen. In the Tory leader ballot at the beginning. Oh, okay. Right, I'm with you. Yes, let's have a look at this. Now, this was taken yesterday, I'm led to believe. This was sent to me. And you can see the subject of the video. I haven't started playing it yet, Offspring. That's why I'm just about to. You can see the subject of the video. It's one coming into shore. So let's play it just now.
Yeah, I did the book.
That, folks, was Folkestone yesterday. There must have been a good 40 to 50 migrants coming in off that ship, off that dinghy. 40 to 50. And they're nowhere near the actual Dover port. They're nowhere near anywhere else. They made landfall all by themselves. And off they went. They had it on their toes. And Pretty has dealt with this, has she? She's getting this under control. It certainly looks like it, doesn't it? Unbelievable. Something tells me that the next incumbent of that position will fare no better. It's nuts. It's nuts. Now, this is the daily chat with Andy the Gabby Cabby, everybody. If you haven't done so already, please hit the like button on the chat. It will help the algorithm find us. That's the main thing. Sorry, I hesitated there. There was just a couple of comments came up I wanted to read. Lock your garage up, Andy. You're right, Sharon. If you are new to the channel and you've only just started watching Andy the Gabby Cabby, we would appreciate it if you would subscribe. We're in a period of growth at the moment, and it's very good to see, and I appreciate each and every one of you and all your support you give behind the scenes and in front of them. It's absolutely wonderful. We do have channel memberships as well. If you feel the need to financially support the channel, we have a basic £1 a month channel membership, which just goes in a tin and keeps me in cider and Coca-Cola and all that sort of thing. But you know, subscribing is free. That's just all extras. Also, if you're on social media at all, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the regulars, please go over there and give me a follow as well. I just republish these videos over on those platforms, and any other oddities I find I publish on there as well. Jokes, little things, anybody that needs putting on social media at all, it all gets done there. So yes, thank you very much, everybody. Now let's have a quick look through the chat and see what people have got to say. Don't doubt it for a minute, Chrissy. What did I miss there? Let's have a look. Happens all the time in Folkestone. They get picked up in cars up my road. They're so quick. Definitely pre-planned. So these cars are there to intercept them, and then they're off. You're not talking about law enforcement, I assume, Chrissy. You're talking about other cars. Oh my God. I keep getting text messages through. I put a SIM card in this laptop, and I didn't realize I can still get text messages. Crazy. Zelensky insists aid to Ukraine is stopping Putin from global war. This is the man renting his £4 million Italian villa to Russians for 50 grand a month. Wake up, people. I think we have, Tony. I think we have. Paul Hoskin, I've got a small fridge now, saving me 400 watts of power every day. Yeah, we'll cover that in a minute. Welcome, gentlemen. Let me escort you to your hotel. Money and room service will be supplied. Dinner at 6. Every time I see it makes my piss boil. My family defended this nation, so people couldn't just walk in willy-nilly. I'm with you there, Handy Andy. So did mine. So did mine. It's disgraceful. Hello, James Wong. Good to see you. The government target is to fill all hotel accommodation in the UK. Probably the only target the government will actually meet. Absolutely. I'll tell you what, speaking of that, I went up to Luton Airport. You know, Luton Airport. A few weeks ago now, and I went in at the Ibis Hotel, just kind of around the back of the airport, and they stopped me from entering. They said it was closed to the public. I only wanted a piss. I had to go in the hotel next door. I looked around me trying to work out why it was closed to the public. I thought, oh, I see. That's why it's closed to the public. So I think it's one of many that are. That's not bad. Not bad at all. Yeah, it's happening all over the country, isn't it? But this is one of the challenges that the new PM has got to face, got to deal with, got to sort something out. Do I believe that she will? No, I don't. I don't believe she's any more capable of doing this than anybody else. You would have to get hard line very quickly. Adam, hello to you. I'm shocked. Number is anyone? No. Does anyone care? Fuck no. Robot after robot it goes. Come on, Russell Brand. The public need a real person to get money where it's needed. Brand is the man. Yeah, he said he does quite well on his YouTube channel, doesn't he, old Russell Brand? He's got thousands and thousands of people watching. Quite the influencer. At the current rate of growth within just 4 years, there'll be more Albanians in UK prisons than Albanians in Albanian jails. Britain is fast becoming Albania's Alcatraz. Well, this is the thing, isn't it? We didn't know this for a long time, who was actually coming over on those rubber dinghies. But there you go. Yeah, a very interesting one that she'll have to deal with. Otherwise, the British public won't thank her for it. So we'll have to see what happens. Let me just see if I can find it here. Yeah, Paz. Give me a 1 in the chat if you follow Paz. The old ex-army Paz, whatever the number is. Give me a 1 in the chat if you do. I ain't seeing no ones. Oh, here we go. Emma Jane Watts is a 1. Cove Lord. Shawning Penn. Yeah, there's a few of you. Well, he did a video on Liz Truss, and I haven't watched it yet. I thought I'd save it and we watch it together. I've lined it up. So this is one that Paz did. And he's entitled it, Liz Truss will be a shite Prime Minister. Let's hear what he has to say. Let's just mute my own voice out again.
Nearly everyone in this country, the United Kingdom, got excited about a new Prime Minister was Tony Blair back in 1997, was it? He was the first person I ever voted for. Little did we know the consequences of having him in as Prime Minister for nearly 10 years. Or was it 10 years? Who cares? The damage done we're still paying for now, and it's completely changed this country. But we were all excited. It was a big change. We had years and years of Tory sleaze. We had John Major in charge. How dare, I've ruined the economy. Yes, I know, that was another impression. I'm sorry. And people had had enough of them. They'd had enough. They'd had 10 years of Thatcher, then John Major for years after that. And this was nearly 20 years of one party being in charge. And it just went downhill. They'd been in there too long, and people were glad to have something different. It was all blue, and then it was all red, Labour red, Tony Blair, Cherie Blair. It was all smiles and sunshine. And I remember his speech and the bit where he said, "A new day has dawned, has it not?" Yes, I know, another impression. I'm sorry, I just keep coming up with this shit. But you know what I'm saying. People were excited. It was change. It was positive. It was good. It was patriotic. And today we've had a new Prime Minister, Conservative Party leader elected by the Conservatives, not by the country, and it's Liz Truss, and nobody's excited. Though I am glad that she was picked over Rishi Sunak. I am convinced nothing will dissuade me otherwise, that, you know, Rishi Sunak would have been a fucking nightmare, and he would have put this country into even more financial hardships, like he promised he would. He was going to raise taxes, etc. You know, at a time like this, it's wrong. And it is also of great concern to myself, and it should be to you as well, if you are a Brexiteer, a committed Brexiteer like me, and you despise the European Union and everything that it stands for. that Liz Truss voted to remain in the 2016 referendum. Yes, that's right. The Tories, in their little vote, have voted in another Remainer Prime Minister, such as Theresa May. She was a Remainer, and we all know how that ended. But I'm not excited about this new Prime Minister. In fact, I haven't been since Tony Blair, to my shame, because Liz Truss has nothing to offer. She's not a leader. She isn't a member of Parliament who has broken the mould, and she does come across as quite naive and thick. Now, I'm not the brain of Britain, but you look and listen to her, and she doesn't know what she's doing or where she is half the time. She's like that boy or girl in your class back in the day who didn't give a fuck and didn't really try and yet got places. Everything was handed to them on a plate. That's Liz Truss. And she hasn't really promised anything. All she said is she'll look into it. But her first task, I believe, for the good of the nation and for the people, is to come down hard on these energy companies to make them reduce their prices and make them affordable. She has that power. She can actually do something about this. But let's not forget, folks, Liz Truss started off her political career as a Liberal Democrat. She was anti-monarchy. She was staunchly anti-Tory. She wasn't very patriotic. She was your typical green, insufferable lefty, as all Liberal Democrats are. However, and saying that, so was Winston Churchill. But remember, the Lib Dems, the Liberal Democrat Party, wasn't the same as it is today. So back then, the Liberal Democrats weren't all unaccountably wealthy, hairy hipsters with man buns, all wearing corduroy, and were all for this climate change nonsense and pro-European. MPs back then were a different breed. So there we go. Liz Truss is the third female prime minister this country has ever had, which puts Labour to shame, really, because Labour are meant to be the woke progressive party. Should they have box tickers as their leaders and put them forward as the next leader of the country and be the party of the people? Of course not. They got Sir Keir Starmer, a upper middle class, wealthy knight of the realm who is a former barrister, QC, Queen's Counsel. So man of the people, he isn't. So there we go. It'd be interesting to see which direction Liz Truss takes the country, how well she does or how badly. But between you and I have absolutely no faith in any of them. And that's quite telling, isn't it? And there we go. That's my video. Hope you like. What do you think? Liz Truss, will she be a good Prime Minister or won't she?
There you go. Pat says the same thing as everybody else. We're done with this crap. We're not stupid, are we? None of us. We're through listening to it all. It's totally and utterly shambolic now, and we know it. He's right about one thing, Paz. It's the energy crisis. That's one of the main issues that faces this country. We've all got. That's all right, Divian. I see you in the chat there. Good to see you, and welcome everybody else that's just joined us. Yeah, we're facing a crisis with our energy in this country. We can't afford to pay the bills anymore, and she needs to come down hard on these firms. As Paz said, he's absolutely correct. We all believe that too. She won't any more than anyone else will. Yeah, David L. Same old crap. All the patter, levelling up, etc. And meanwhile, we all suffer. Martin Lewis has got himself a gig on GB. Oh bloody hell! Good Morning Britain, whatever the one with Susie, what's her face on it. So long since I watched that crap. I can't remember the name of it, but I found some clips earlier on where Martin Lewis had the founder of OVO Energy on there and tore him a new one, basically. And it was good to see. I mean, this is some of the stuff we've got. Good Morning Britain. Yeah, this is the Twitter feed for Good Morning Britain. That's the name of the people, isn't it? Good Morning Britain. Well, let's play this.
Well, if that's available, how you have published a 10-point plan with proposals for the government. Look, I want to ask you, Stephen, there are a number of people who have signed up to a campaign where they say they're not going to pay their bills at all. We have had messages in today from people who are, I would say, beyond despair about how they're going to pay and maybe considering not paying at all. You run a business. You don't want people not to pay, but you must also have enormous sympathy for people who can't. What's your message to them?
Yeah, it's one of the very hardest things about being in the energy business at any time. Taking calls from customers that are really struggling to make ends meet. And we provide one of life's essential services that everybody in the country needs, heat and electricity. So it's always very difficult. But this winter, as I've said, it's a winter like no other. And we are taking calls even through the summer from customers who say they cannot afford to pay their bills and they're terrified of the winter. So the thing we always say is, first and foremost, if you are concerned, get in touch with your energy supplier. There's lots of ways in which we can help. Unfortunately, there aren't really any cheaper ways to buy energy anymore. There are no good tariffs. There's nothing, as Martin will know, there's nothing really we can do to say that we can help save money on a per unit basis. But we have specialized teams within OVO to help customers make sure they're getting all the benefits that they're entitled to. We've got real experts in this now that we've been working all year. And on average, we help people find about £1,000 of extra benefits that they're entitled to that they're not getting. So that's the first thing.
Do you mean support that is available to them from the government?
That's right.
That they aren't claiming?
That they're not getting.
That's interesting, because that shouldn't be your job. If that's available, how come?
Well, to be fair, it is partly under Ofgem's requirement, is partly a responsibility that it is your job to help vulnerable customers. And I know you feed onto National Energy Action.
Yeah, but I was just, I think my point is that if that's available from the government should be making that clearer to people that they can
there's always exceptions, and there are always people that just need that extra guidance. And it is part of our job. And, you know, we take this part of the responsibility very seriously.
It's an indication it's so complex as well.
Yeah, it is, and it is complicated. The second.
Well, that's the first clip. There was another one on here as well. Let's find this for you. Okay.
The headline in the Telegraph today: Truss could freeze bills to avoid energy Armageddon. And it's talking about her shifting to that plan. If they're shifting to that plan, they will be talking to you. What's happening in your diary for the rest of the day?
So we're expecting to meet with the new government as soon as possible. We've been told already over the weekend that this is the first order of business, and that we should expect to be meeting ministers and their advisors in the coming days.
Do you think this is right? Do you think they're looking at a price freeze? Do you know?
I think they're looking at a lot of options, and I think the intent is to find something that can be implemented simply and immediately. And I'm delighted to hear that. I think we kind of waited a long time to find out what's going to happen. I understand we needed to wait for there to be a new Prime Minister. It's a lot of money we're talking about.
Do you really understand that? They could have made the plans before they had a new Prime Minister in place and said what they were going to do. You would have met with one of the two candidates, wouldn't you?
We've waited
being honest, you're being political now. They could have done this sooner, couldn't they?
We've waited a long time. I wrote an article in last December, headline, "We're sleepwalking into an energy crisis of 2022." And we have. But it isn't too late. I think there's lots of things the government can do in the next 12 weeks that will make this so much easier for customers. It's not going to be easier, but I think there are steps that could be taken that will definitely lighten the load.
Yes, there might be steps that they can do to lighten the load. What are they? Why is it going to take 12 weeks? Why wasn't this done or planned out sooner? Why did they wait this long? No, they're all questions that the British public deserve to know the answers to. Yeah, stink pooter. Very valid point. What's the cause? David Crosby, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. That's very much appreciated. Thank you for your support. Hi, Andy. Let's pray we all stay warm over Christmas. We must trust Truss. P.S. I am David Crosby and sexy bastard. Hey! Well, next time my boy comes in, let's have David Crosby and not sexy bastard, and he won't be laughing his head off for the next term. Yeah, good to see you. Thank you very much. And thank you again for that £5 super chat. Wonderful. Yeah, so many questions, isn't there? Why has it been left this long? I had to laugh. Who remembers Edwina Curry, the egg girl? Well, apparently now she's an expert at giving us advice on how to save money and keep warm and everything. This was absolutely ridiculous. You know, she was playing with tin foil and all sorts of things. Have a look at this. Some of these old school politicians, you think, the hell do they think we are?
My suggestions for a tip, something that's dirt cheap. Martin knows about this sort of thing. If you put some of this behind your radiators, it really works. It makes the whole room nice and warm, and it means that you can turn down your thermostat without it causing you any more discomfort. I mean, you know, Martin, Susanna, most people my age have lived in houses without central heating. But we are dependent on it now. And just that kind of little thing makes such a difference. Moving the sofa away from the radiator. You don't want to be heating the sofa, you want to be heating the room. If you've got
Edwina, forgive me.
There's
nothing wrong with
that kind of thing, you know.
There's nothing wrong with the tips, and the tips are right, and there's lots of great detailed tips out there. But ultimately, let's be plain. We have an 80% rise in the price cap in October. We have another predicted 52% rise in the price cap in January. We're 7 months through the 10-month assessment period of that, so that's likely to be in the right ballpark. That will bring a typical bill in the UK to £5,400 a year.
No amount of tips from Edwina Curry are going to cut the mustard. Oh, for God's sake, woman, shut up, Sharon Shooter says. Exactly. You know, she's giving all these tips about how to increase the heat flow in your home, but she's missing the very valid point that no bugger will be able to afford to heat their home. And again, this is a very real problem that this Truss has got to get her hand around and deal with quickly before people start getting cold and the winter starts getting in. We don't have the time. And like the man said, why did we wait this long? I mean, there was an article that I saw earlier about some of the things that she's probably going to have to do. There's no video in this one, so I can talk it. New Prime Minister Liz Truss expected to freeze energy bills. Now, she's talked in her victory speech about delivering on the energy crisis. I didn't find that a very inspiring energy speech at all. And it says that she's expected to announce some kind of freeze on the energy bills, costing 100 billion quid. Under the proposal, bills would be subsidised and the current price cap for a typical family would be maintained for 2 years, 1,971 quid. That's still an awful lot. Bold action, all those power words again. Difficult times. Long and short of it, she says, you know, they're intimating that they're going to take some kind of action on this. And, you know, by God, they have to. Otherwise, we are all in a load of trouble. Listen, folks, this is the Daily Chat with Andy the Gabby Cabby. Thank you, everybody, for joining me this evening. If you haven't done so already, please hit the like button on the chat. That would be great. Also, if you're new here and just started watching for the first time tonight, please consider subscribing as well. You know, that would be great. Get the numbers up. We're on 31,200 and something at the moment, so we're going great guns, and we could be getting up to some more, so that's wonderful. 87 watching, 67 likes, Alan Pape says. So come on, we can do with some more numbers. That'd be great. Somebody mentioned that they sent me a Jonathan Pye clip. Now, I usually find him bloody hilarious. So let's see if I can find him while we are in here talking. Bear with me, please. I'll see if I can find that. It amazes me with Jonathan Pye how he turns into a news reporter and then goes off on a raving mad one and then switches back into reporter mode again. I find it very, very funny indeed. I'm just logging into the right place, I hope. Oh my God, what's all this? Block that. Never to that. Go on my Andy the Gabby Cabby Facebook page and see if we've got any lovely messages from people. Bear with me, folks. Just switching over to the right thing. I can see that we're broadcasting okay to Facebook this evening as well. So anybody watching there, welcome to you. It's all great. There we go. Yeah, let's have a bit of Jonathan Pye to brighten up proceedings. Share screen.
Energy bills and gas prices through the roof. I'm not saying gas prices because it's petrol, gas. It's not even a gas. It's a liquid. So just introduce the new Prime Minister, a sort of state of the nation kind of thing. Yeah, okay. State of the nation. Well, I mean, it's just shit. No, everything is shit. Look, I'm a proud Brit, but, you know, let's face facts. There's no other word for it. It's just shit. In a few weeks, our gas and electricity bills are going to nearly double. And in January, they're going to treble.
Millions of households will see a record 80% rise in their energy bills.
A genuine social and financial catastrophe.
Yes, energy prices are rising globally, but here they are so high, hardworking families can't afford to eat. Meanwhile, energy companies are posting record profits. Inflation, that's going up.
Rising to another 40-year high in July.
Soaring prices have triggered walkouts across the UK on trains, buses, and at ports crucial to the UK's supply chains. So our trains aren't running, our airports are a nightmare. You can't get in or out of the country because of airline staff shortages and queues at border control. Our rubbish is piling up. Our health system is on life support. Even the bloody weather doesn't work.
The hottest English day on record, a series of wildfires.
Now, you might ask, well, what is the British government doing about all this? Well, the answer to that is nothing, which is as good a place as any to start. Jesus Christ, that was just the introduction. So Boris Johnson was finally forced to resign because he's a liar, but rather than leaving immediately and spending a relaxing summer on holiday, he decided to stay in charge and spend a relaxing summer on holiday.
This is Boris Johnson off on holiday again. He's popped off to Greece.
In fact, when he did actually bother to turn up to work, it made the front pages. When Prime Minister does some work, is front page news, you know you're in trouble. But hey, Boris is finally gone. Good riddance. Who cares? Time to introduce our new Prime Minister. Meet Liz Truss. Surely she has a plan to help save Britain. Just to clarify, Liz Truss has not won a general election. We won't have another one for 18 months. No, she was chosen by roughly 200,000, mostly extremely wealthy Conservative Party members, deciding who runs a country of nearly 70 million, but I haven't got time to go into it. Unfortunately, Boris's main achievement in office was to set the bar so low that anyone can now become Prime Minister, even Liz Truss. Oh, come on, that just feels a bit lazy, doesn't it? Come on, I'm better than this. I'm not just going to sit here and do some hack hit job on a politician who's 5 minutes into the job.
Yeah, if you want to see the full version of that, it's about 6 minutes long. You can find that on Facebook on Jonathan Pye's webpage. But I usually find the guy bloody hilarious, to be quite honest. He can have a bit of an old rant. He certainly can. Let's just have a couple of minutes looking through the chat, see what people have got to say, and we'll think about finishing. Tony, I've saved silver when I could. Yeah, I've always squirreled a little bit away here and there, you know, extra money and a few assets in, you know, outside of the system. You feel like you have to, don't you, Tony? That's definite. The cow says moo, the cat says meow, the sheep says Boris did his best. The end. Absolutely. The thunder has just hit North Wales. I've seen reports, Alan, in the papers that there's an awful lot of crap weather coming our way. Yeah, John O'Sullivan, it would be funny if it wasn't all true. Handy Andy, first time you've taken me shopping. Where have we been then, Handy Andy? You tell me. Tad, I'm glad it wasn't Rishi who got in. So am I from the point of view I don't trust him more than I don't trust her. There's just something about it. All the greenies will be saying, open the pits when they start shivering. That's true. They'll come to see the error of their ways soon enough, won't they? Madmark UK, do you use a mic? If not, you need to get one. I'm just using the inbuilt mic in the laptop. Madmark UK. The sound quality, not so much the volume, but the sound quality sounds a lot better than when I was doing it off of this. But I've been recommended a mic to get by Bill Cannon off Police Off the Cuff. He sent me a link to a mic that he uses for his podcast, and I was going to get hold of one of them, so that'd be cool. Anna Perkins, get a power brick ASAP. I think you might be right there. 2024, Boris is PM and Trump is president. I'd love to have a bet on that. I was looking at 50 Britannias, but the premium VAT makes it senseless. Yeah. Okay, everybody. I think that's enough. We're at about 50 minutes. I want to thank everybody coming. I just wanted to follow up on the Liz Truss thing again, just to go through some of the areas where she might have trouble. You know, some of the areas she has to deal with immediately, and some of the areas which are important to us, particularly migration or uncontrolled migration across the channel, and obviously everything that's going on with the cost of living and the cost of heating our homes. There's going to be a live stream over the next probably couple of weeks to do with the migrants again. And I'm going to bring somebody in as a guest. We've got to do a test run on that in the next few days, make sure it works properly. Someone who's down that neck of the woods who can tell us a little bit more of an insight of what's going on. There's more content coming out between 9 and 12 tomorrow morning, and I'll be back with another live stream later tomorrow. And you will see me then. If anybody's got any stories to tell or anything I need to know about, please always message me. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, or any of those other things. That'd be good. Thank you again, everybody, for your support. It's great to see everybody. Great to have everyone here. I'll see you tomorrow. Toodaloo.